Yo, what's going on, everyone? Coach Jamie here with the Shift Method Personal Training. Hope you are having an awesome day today. First off, just quick announcement. If any of y'all follow me on my social media, you probably have already seen, but kind of a cool life update happened for me here where I am officially not working full-time at my previous job anymore. I had an awesome 4-year run professionally at Florida Atlantic University where I oversaw the fitness department there. It was an amazing job, but I knew that eventually I was going to do this more so full-time. And so I took the leap, and it has been an amazing decision. Really thankful for my mentors over there, my coworkers for allowing me to have this opportunity. And so now I get more time to make awesome content for all of you. And of course, more time to do more coaching and more of the things I love. So good quality videos, better quality videos coming out for y'all. So I hope y'all enjoy this one. But enough about that. So today's YouTube video, we are going to be talking about Ozempic. And more broadly, we're going to talk about GLP-1 drugs. They've gotten a lot of popularity recently, especially in the last couple of years, as the debate about their effectiveness, how they work for weight loss, and overall their safety profile has kind of come into question. So I wanted to make this a two-part series to kind of go over what GLP-1 drugs are, like Ozempic. I'm sure you guys have heard that term a lot in the mainstream, and kind of just let you know more about how they work, their effectiveness, and overall what we see when we compare them to exercise and diet overall. And then, of course, the second part, we're going to go over some very common myths and some kind of things that are being used in the media to scare people about them that I want to kind of clear up for y'all. And of course, if y'all enjoy this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so a little bit of recap on obesity, because of course, always good to know what our foundation is, get our definition straightened out here. And what we've seen here, which you can see in this chart that I pull up here, obesity has been climbing up rampantly over the years. As you can see, from the year 2000 all the way up to 2018, obesity has risen from about 30% all the way to 42% plus. That's a huge jump in just about an 18-year time span. And of course, there's a lot of reasons that I've talked about it. I've talked about obesity in a lot of other videos, which I'll link down below. But the common theme is that obesity rates are going up over time. Funny enough, though, from 2018 to 2023, we've actually seen about a 2% decrease in obesity, which again, people might say, whoa, 2%, big deal. Buddy, when we're talking about 2% on a population level, that can be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. And overall, if that happens in a couple year time span, imagine if we span that out over 50, 60, 70 years plus, that can be a good sign of things to come. And while there are a lot of contributing factors and it's hard to know exactly everything that cause that, things like reporting during COVID-19 times, things like, maybe people's overall view on exercise and health and how that might impact their decisions and their habits. But of course, a big contributor to that is these GLP-1 medications that people historically took for diabetes exclusively are now taking more so for weight loss. In fact, what we see in about the last year, about 1 in 8 adults has used a GLP-1 at least once, and currently about 6% of the population of US adults is actually taking them. So you look around you in a crowd of people, there's chances are that a couple of people in that group are taking one right now. And so it is quite prevalent. It's being used more frequently. And this is mainly for my coaches out there. You're probably going to come across a client if you're working with general population, if you're working with weight loss, you're going to come across a client that is using this. And I want to give y'all some overall education, overall guidance on, well, how do I know more about this drug and how do I use that in my practice as a coach? Okay, first and foremost, what exactly is a GLP-1 drug? Number one, it's not this panacea thing, right? It's not steroid where you just inject in you and automatically you're just going to lose, dozens of pounds in a couple of weeks. It's not that. It's not a cure-all, but it is a very powerful tool for weight loss that, again, has been around for quite a while. So GLP-1, that just stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. To make it very simple, this drug mimics a hormone in our body that essentially helps us feel fuller so that way we don't want to eat as much food as we otherwise would. And it does that by working on our brain, specifically the part of our brain that's responsible for that sensation of fullness. Our hypothalamus helps regulate blood sugar, helps regulate our appetite overall, and it helps our stomach with emptying slower so that way you stay fuller longer. So really it's working on a bit of your brain, a bit on your behavior change, which ultimately we know is the best way to help with exercise and overall just losing weight. In terms of all the types, right? Just like any drug or any medication, you're gonna see there's like the main brand and there's gonna be this, right? there's weed, there's pot, there's hash, right? There's all different names for different things. And so it's good to know the couple of names that you may see or that your client may mention when talking about a drug, so you understand, oh, that's what they're talking about. So of course, the main one that you probably guys have heard, Ozempic, is the big one, but it's actually a different type of name for the overarching drug, which is known as semaglutide. So semaglutide is what you would see for Ozempic, or Wegovy is the other name for it. The other common one, there is Ozempic, which is more commonly known as Mounjaro. That's another common one that y'all may hear. The other one that's less commonly known is going to be liraglutide. Again, this one you may not see as much as the Ozempic, the Wegovy, and the Mounjaro that are used. So just know that there are a couple of different names that you may come across when your client is talking about their GLP-1 like drug. Now, the big question is, of course, how effective are these things, right? Some people may say that they're not effective at all and they have all these side effects. Some people may think they're kind of effective, but they're not very sure. So as a coach, we got to talk about what's their effectiveness overall, and then we're going to compare them with diet and exercise and see how they stack up against the competition. In this first study I'm going to pull up here so y'all can see, this was a 68-week long study, so a bit over a year. And what they saw is that participants using semaglutide lost 15% of their total body weight. I'm gonna say that again. They lost 15% of their total body weight in a little bit over a year. That's pretty cool, thinking if you're someone who's 200 pounds, you lost about 30 pounds in a bit over a year, which is a pretty healthy rate of weight loss. And that's a significant amount of weight to lose to move you towards a healthier life. In another study that was 72 weeks long, so approaching that 1.5 year mark on tirzepatide, they saw that participants lost between 15 and 21% of their total body weight, depending on the size of the dosage of the medication. So again, a little bit longer, losing over 20% of your total body weight. That is a huge amount of weight loss. And again, it's spanned over a good amount of time to where it's not super sudden, but you're still seeing some solid results over time. Right? It would suck if you get this medication and you lose a couple pounds in a year. That wouldn't make any sense. Versus I do the injection and holy crap, I lost 50 pounds in a month. You're looking like a skeleton, right? Kind of getting that weird sucked-in face that you see some of these celebrities have. That wouldn't be very good either. So it shows that you're losing a significant amount of weight, but it's done in a healthy way and over a longer period of time. Now, I know what some of y'all might be thinking. Well, all right, Damien, well, why don't people just do diet and exercise? Again, of course, we are going to always advocate for diet and exercise, and people who are taking these medications, they should add that in order to help improve their health overall. But as we know, this is about behavior change. So just saying change your diet, change your exercise, people may not make that change. They might feel that they're so far behind the 8 ball. They're so far beyond zero. They're in the negative where they're like, I don't even know how to start. I'm too heavy. I'm too uncomfortable. I'm too self-conscious. I just don't feel good at all to make these changes. But maybe starting this medication gives them kind of that jump start, that springboard to now go ahead and change themselves. And so now we're going to look at some studies that compare using these GLP-1 drugs and exercise in isolation and also in combination to see what are the differences there. So firstly, looking at exercise just by itself and people's ability to keep weight off over time. In fact, the study that I'm putting up, I believe it was from a Biggest Loser study where they're showing, hey, now that you've lost at least 5% of your total body weight, so that's kind of the bottom line criteria, how long did you keep at least that amount of weight off over a 1, 2, and 5 year time span? And what we saw is that people kept off 80, 70, and 50% of their body weight off respectively, at least 5% of their body weight off respectively, over that 1, 2, and 5 year time span, which is pretty solid, right? If you told me, hey, 5 years out, I kept off 50% of the weight, that's a pretty good indicator that you had a good, successful program. And again, that was from a exercise and diet protocol that people followed. So solid research there. But then when we look at some other research that compares GLP-1, diet, and exercise interventions, and when you look at them individually, we see that the GLP-1 outperforms all of them on an individual basis when you do about a year follow-up in terms of total amount of body weight loss and body weight kept off when they regain a little bit of the weight back. But what's really cool about this paper is that although the GLP-1 drug did better, as you can see in this graph here that's showing the different types of GLP-1 versus exercise versus diet, what is really cool is when you combine all these kind of behavior changes, the medication, the diet, and the exercise together, that had the most profound effect. People lost about 25 pounds on average, and even though they gained some weight back, they still kept off more weight than if they just did the drug or just did the exercise and diet in isolation. And so what that's showing is that The GLP-1 is a powerful tool on its own, no questions asked. But of course, done with proper diet, proper exercise, proper coaching, it's going to have even more effects for more weight loss, more total weight loss, and of course, less regain over time once people stop intervention. So it's all around better for you. And again, in the next video for my coaches out there, I'm actually going to go into some myths about GLP-1 drugs in terms of some things surrounding cancer and muscle wasting, because I know that's a very popular topic. And then of course, talk about some coaching guidelines and some dietary guidelines for y'all to help out your clients to make sure if they're training with you on one of these medications, you're doing the best thing for them and setting them up for success. And that's it, everyone. Hey, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video here today. Leave a comment below if you're someone who is taking a GLP-1 or if you're a coach working with someone. If you guys have any questions about health, coaching, maybe something that you're concerned about, something you've heard on social media or whatever, I'd be happy to answer your question down below. And as always, you can check me out daily on the socials. Check out the website. If you want to get in a free session here at Johnny O's in beautiful Boca, I'd love to meet you, or we can work online with my virtual coaching subscription. Otherwise, I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.